If you are new to somatic yoga, this is a simple practice that hits all the major hallmarks. I truly hope you enjoy this. However, if something is overwhelming or uncomfortable, to opt out and just go into a different shape that feels right for your body. Welcome. It's so great to see you. We're going to be doing this practice in mostly a cross-leg shape like this on your yoga mat. Now, if you can't sit like this, you can try to do this in a chair or sit in a different way on your mat or wherever you want to sit that is best for you. You can add a cushion underneath your sit bones if you'd like. Now, if you're going to do this in a chair, we will be coming down to the ground at some point. Let's begin by opening our hands, palms up, and then bringing our hands together and starting to gently rub, not rapidly, just slowly. We want to build a little heat. As you do this, begin to feel into your sit bones. Do you feel supported by the earth? Or maybe you feel distant. There's no judgment. Try to give yourself compassion. There's no right or wrong. It's just observing where you're at. Can you bring that inquiry into even how you feel in your clothes? Are they soft against your skin? Or maybe they feel constricted like my yoga clothes do? Now, take more of that curiosity into where your environment is. Do you feel comfortable and safe where you are? Now that we built some heat in our hands, open them back up, palms facing the sky, and we're going to palm our eyes. Close your eyes if you can. Bring those palms on top of your eyes, your fingers across your forehead, and be here. Sighing out even if this feels nice. Breathing easily. Inhaling, exhaling. Does this feel like a safe cocoon? Or maybe it just feels odd because it's new to you. You've not done this type of thing before. Can you remain open to what somatic yoga offers? And in somatics and somatic yoga, it's about tools. This tool is useful to give ourselves some soothing, loving vibes. That's how I say it. But it really is about giving ourselves TLC. And it can also help when you're experiencing a certain state, such as anxiety, sticking here for a moment if you can. And when you're ready, we can now drop our hands, let in the light, blink your eyes a few times so you can get used to the light again. And we're going to add on. We'll do something called havening. That is a self-touch exercise. Let's start with our forehead. So bringing your fingers at the top of your forehead. You can close your eyes if you want to try that. I might leave my eyes open for this round. And beginning to use a little pressure and then moving your fingers across your forehead towards your temples. Feeling into this. Is it a new sensation? The pressure is up to you. You can go really soft and feather-like, or you can add a little more pressure. Having a little more pressure is effective. Now let's try to do 3 together. Bring your hands or bring your fingers back up to your forehead and let's stroke down. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Now let's move on to massaging our cheeks. Bringing 2 fingers of each hand between your eyebrows. I'm going to close my eyes here. I tend to do that in this particular phase of the havening. And then moving your fingers around your nose, across your cheeks, towards your ears. The reason why pressure is a good thing here, and again, it's not always a must-do, it's just an option, is because the cranial nerves that help the vagus nerve calm down, and then, as I guess they call it, vagal toning, they are underneath the face. So the skin of the face is where the cranial nerves live. And let's try to do 3 together. So come back in between your eyebrows, and then let's move our fingers around our nose, across the cheeks. 1, 2, and then 3. Next up is our jaw. I always start at my chin and bring 2 fingers of each hand there. And then begin to fan your fingers out towards your earlobes. The jaw is an often neglected area. I know that when I'm feeling activated or stressed, my jaw is the first thing that clenches up. An area that I like to massage, you can try this if you want, is between my earlobe and the beginning of my jaw. I like to massage that area. It always feels really nice to me. And even kind of behind the jaw, like right like where the earlobe is. That's another area that I like to go to. But choose what works for you. Now, if you can try this with me, opening and closing your jaw just for a few seconds. How does that feel? And then just hanging your jaw open. That helps release some of the muscle tension you might have in your neck. Now let's do 3 strokes across our jaw together. Bringing our fingers to the beginning of the tip of our chin and then fanning out. 1, 2, 3. And then release your fingers down. We're going to do something called integration. You can close your eyes here or let them remain open if they're already open. Place your hands wherever you like. This is where we feel how that landed. Do you notice any changes in your body? In your mood? sometimes when we're beginning these practices, there can feel like a duality. There is some safety and calmness that enters into the picture, but there's also resistance on the other side. Breathing here, inhaling, exhaling. Try to trust that you can ride the tide of both. You might be able to hold both. And even if you're not feeling that, you honor where you are. Inhaling and exhaling. When you are ready, open your eyes. What we're going to be doing next is some gentle side bending. And while that sounds familiar, it's more of feeling into your body. We're going to do this to our breath in a more active way, but if that's something that doesn't work for you, then just trying to do the motions. Placing our hands on the surface we are sitting on, so we're connected to the earth as we do this. Or if you're just sitting in a chair, let your arms sort of hang there. And I'm going to start bending on my right side, so you can follow along with me there if you like. We'll do 3 cycles, one side each. And if you want to have your eyes open, I encourage you to try that with this one. Getting ready and bringing your arm up, inhaling, trying to inhale through your side body, coming over in the side bend, looking forward, and exhaling, bringing your arm back down to earth. There's no perfection here, no right or wrong. Trying the next side, inhaling, bringing the breath here if you can. Coming over, side bending, looking forward. Exhaling, coming back down. And even sighing out, relaxing, pausing between cycles. Ready? Next one. Inhaling, woo, bringing that arm over, crunching in to the other side. And now let's try to add on a little bit. Try to look under your arm. Just see how that feels. Now, if that doesn't feel good, keep looking forward or keep your eyes closed. Exhaling, coming down, touching earth. Pause. Be here. Inhaling your other arm. Pushing your arm up a little bit, but not necessary. Coming over into the side bend, touching earth with your other hand. Now, trying again to see if you can look on this side, under the arm. And then exhaling, coming down. Last cycle. We're going to add on here just to try something. Try to be open to what this can bring you. Inhaling, bringing your arm up. And instead of having your hand on earth, bringing your arm from the other side and pushing your hand across your body. And then bending over and trying to look under your armpit to the side where your hand is pushing. This is my left hand pushing. Maybe your hand is the other way. And then exhaling, coming down. We'll do the other side. Inhaling, bringing some beautiful breath in the side and bringing your other hand across and side bending, trying to look beneath your arm. Just holding it for a second if you can. Exhaling, release it all. Bringing your hands to earth. Pausing. Reflecting for a second. That was perhaps a new type of shape. Or maybe this is old hat to you. But crossing the midline is another way to speak to our nervous system, to bring it some more balance. Breathing easily. Try not to hold your breath. Inhaling through your belly. Exhaling, contracting. Open your eyes if you have them closed. The last motion we're going to do is what would be a typical cat's camel. But we're going to change it up a little bit as we do in somatic yoga. And so if you're coming into the classic stance, you spread your fingers and then you place them beneath your shoulders. Your legs come out into more of a tabletop position. And you can curl your toes like I am, or you can lay your toes flat. And let's try a few breaths in the classic camel and cat. I like to curl my toes. Do what is best for you. Keep your head neutral if you can. And when you inhale, you drop your arms a little bit. You bring your tailbone up. And then you bring your head up like this. And then when you exhale, you spring from your arms and you curl like a cat does. Curl in if you can. Again, it doesn't have to be perfection. It's just doing the motion, kind of getting the shape. Inhaling, bring your tailbone up. Bringing your arms down and head up. Exhale, springing out from your arms, pressing into the ground, curling. Drape your head down. Inhale, camel. Exhale, cat, curling. Do your own revolutions for a couple of seconds here. Inhaling up, exhaling, curl. And while this seems like a typical yoga pose, we're about to add on. Next, when you inhale, play a little bit. Start to think about different shapes. And then exhale, curling, maybe even moving forward. Inhaling, coming up. And maybe even not even bothering with the breath, because you can start to freestyle a little bit and move in your cat and cow into different shapes. So maybe inhaling, coming forward, putting your feet down to the ground, and exhaling, coming back in almost a child's pose shape, and inhaling, coming forward, even moving your hips around if that feels good. And exhaling, coming back, and maybe even starting to bend your elbows. Start to play with this and see what your body likes, what shape it likes to be in. Whew. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling forward or wherever, exhaling back or exhaling even forward. You could try and exhale. Just coming into a shape, even maybe moving your legs a bit, bending your arms. Sighing out. Coming into a semi-child's pose, not spreading your fingers out. Now, if you're doing this in a chair, and you can do the same thing by just playing with shapes, coming up and coming down. So it doesn't have to be necessarily static and then coming down, but it can be just messing around and feeling into your body. This is what it's about, giving yourself opportunities, choices. We give ourselves choices in somatic yoga. We do what feels right. Inhaling, maybe coming forward again. Exhaling, coming back. Moving your pelvis around. Oh, yeah. Making noise. Noise is a good thing in somatic yoga. Now, slowing down your movements. And if it feels right, you can then come down into child's pose. You can place your hands on top of each other to support your forehead. But child's pose is not your only option, because this is sometimes an uncomfortable position. Another one that I like as an alternative is fetal curl. So coming in and bending your legs and bringing them together like this, and coming down and pulling out your shoulder so you can give your head more support instead of your shoulder crunched, bringing it out and using the bottom hand as a pillow or the bottom arm as a pillow, and then curling in. This is a very soothing shape. Another way I like to cement this one is to bring my top arm, clasp my bottom arm. It feels like a mini self-hug. Try this out if you'd like, or stay in child's pose if you're there. I'm just sinking. Breathing easily. Being with yourself here. I love this shape for a variety of reasons, but it's really great if you're in a low state of mind. And I do have a specific video on it. I'll add it here, up top here, so you can access it. Sighing. Letting the earth support you. How did those shapes feel? Were they liberating a little bit? Did they land strangely? Again, this is new. I don't know what this is all about. Somatic Yoga is about getting down to the nervous system level and accessing the safety that you have, that is there and always was. A lovely way to cap this particular shape is to add more sound. One breath that I really like is called VOO breath. VOO is how you spell it. So let's do maybe a couple of those together, because this does mimic that idea of giving a child comfort. And you can give your inner child that comfort that it maybe never got. I'll quickly demonstrate the VOO sound. It's using a deep inhale and then lengthening out your exhale, but making that sound at the same time. So it's the tone that's very specific. So inhaling, you can see how it works. Let's try to do 2 together. And if only one works for you, wonderful. Whenever you're ready. Inhale. Pause. Last and second one. Inhale. Draw out that exhale. Now let go. Be here with your inner child, with your adult self. Know that you can start trusting or learning to. Safety is here. It's more than possible. If you'd like to stay in fetal curl, please do so. Or if you'd like to come back up with me, you can take your lower hand and press up. Let me adjust my waistband. And we can now close out the practice. If it is something that calls to you, you can bring your hands into prayer hands or Anjaling Mudra. Thank you so much for practicing with me. It was an honor. If you really get something out of these videos, do like, do subscribe, and comment. I always like to hear your feedback, how this landed with you. And if you want to connect more, I always send some weekly newsletters to touch base and offer some tools and talk about more my personal journey. It was amazing to see you. We'll see you again.
Beautiful Thrivers! If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe so I can deliver more of this content to you. Sending lots of light and love, and see you next time.